So this is called I Was Right About the Marriage Issue. And Michael Knowles is one of the worst people to talk about the issue of marriage because he's one of the most delusional Christian boomer-brained conservative types who believes that marriage is strictly between one man and one woman only. A PP and a vajayjay. Nothing else. God ordained it this way.
Really, really good news and a huge cultural shift going on in my state of Tennessee. Have you heard of covenant marriage? Covenant marriage, you're going to hear about it more and more. There is a bill being proposed in Tennessee that would establish covenant marriage into law. Other states have done this already. It was introduced into the State House here, January 22nd. It would establish covenant marriages in Tennessee as being between, quote, one male and one female who, quote, agree that marriage is a lifelong partnership. The legislation would make it harder for couples who agree to enter into this kind of marriage to get a divorce in the state of Tennessee. And the bill would go into effect July 2025. I love this.
Of course. Okay, so first and foremost, Michael Knowles' stamp of approval is pretty much like a red flag for everybody else. If this thing says, like, Michael Knowles approves of this thing, to everybody else, you should read that as, get the f*** away from whatever the hell that is. Why would it be a good thing to make it harder to get a divorce? The only reason that this would be seen as a good thing is if you're a dumb, bird-brained conservative who believes that divorce happens because women just want to leave the men one day and the men just get bored, so they decide to get a divorce. In reality, a lot of the times marriages just don't work out because people are different, they grow apart, whatever the reason. Either way, by basically undoing no-fault divorce, what he's talking about here, you now make it impossible for a woman to divorce somebody, or honestly, for anybody to get a divorce, from a partner who's, say, mentally or emotionally abusive. All this does is make things more difficult.
The Representative Gino Bulso, who proposed this bill, and Chris Hurt, who originally proposed the bill before passing the sponsorship on, they have my full support. Anything I can do to help them, I'm happy to do. This bill is reality with a few extra steps. That's what covenant marriage is. Covenant marriage is reality with a few extra steps, because what this really is just what everyone understood marriage to be until relatively recently.
So this is, first and foremost, an appeal to tradition. Everybody understood it to be this way. Okay, so for a very long time, everybody understood the world to be flat. Should we have just kept on saying the world was flat? Michael? You fucking idiot? No, of course not. Oh yeah, and then he says it's reality. Why are conservatives convinced that if they just repeat over and over again, this is reality, this is reality, this is reality, that it will somehow become reality?
Until the Obergefell decision in, what was that, 2015? Everyone, everywhere, understood marriage to be the union of a man and a woman.
No, not everybody. Until the 2015 decision was the Supreme Court decision that literally made it legal in all 50 states for gay people to get married. It wasn't like everybody was just A-okay with the way things were, and then all of a sudden the spooky, evil Supreme Court just changed it. Because people were not okay with it. People did not understand it to be just one man and one woman. People understood it to be more than that. And it is more than that. Marriage right now is a state-run institution. It is a government institution. So what that means is a government-recognized union of two people is a marriage. Those two people could be a man and a woman. They could be two men. They could be two women. Regardless, if they're adults and of consenting legal age, then what's the problem?
Not because we don't like fellas who have different views and desires. Not because we don't like ladies who have different views and desires. Not because we're phobic or hateful or anything, but just because that's what a marriage is. If marriage is not that, there's no way to identify what distinguishes marriage from any other kind of relationship.
What he's essentially saying is, you need to follow my worldview, or else everything else doesn't make sense. This is pathetic. Even if we were not able to explain everything else without his worldview, does not by default mean his worldview is correct. And also, he is being a hateful and homophobic little cunt. Very good point, chat. There's plenty of ways to distinguish a marriage outside of one man and one woman, one peen and one vagine. There are better and more efficient ways. How about a government-sanctioned, a government-recognized union between two committed, consenting adults? There you go. Again, marriage right now is a state-run institution. That means that the state has a constitutional obligation to more or less strive for equal treatment, regardless of some slight differences. This is even in the Constitution.
It's not hateful, it's just reality. Okay, and then, this isn't just distinguishing covenant marriage from same-sex marriage or something. This goes further. This undoes an error that began really 50, 60 years ago, which is the error of liberalizing divorce. Marriage was understood for all of history.
Are you out of your drink?
Certainly in our civilization, but broadly speaking everywhere, as the union of a man and a woman for life, ordered toward the procreation and education of children, and as a secondary matter, ordered toward the mutual support of the spouses.
This doesn't matter. For a very long time, you know how marriage was understood? Marriage was understood as, oh yeah, that thing we do to unite kingdoms so we don't go to war. That's what marriage used to be all about. That's what marriage traditionally used to be understood as. A way to reduce turmoil and conflict, and a way to unite kingdoms by marrying the prince off with the princess and all those cliches. That was a real thing.
It's the lifelong union of a man and a woman for the purpose of, inclined toward, the begetting of children and the educating of children, and also for the mutual support of the husband and wife.
Inclined towards? Okay, so then could two gay people who have the strong intention to adopt children and educate them, is that okay now? Or is this still not okay because they're gay?
The reason for that is not oppression, and it's not patriarchy, and it's not a heteronormativity, and it's that is the only definition that marriage can have that would permit marriage to exist as a different kind of relationship, as a distinct kind of institution, separate from boyfriend and girlfriend, separate from just ordinary lovers, separate from roommates. It's the only thing that gives...
Why could it not just be government sanctioned? A government recognized union?
And there are all sorts of downstream effects of that, especially as pertains to children. But this is really good stuff. And I mention it not just to call attention to a law in Tennessee, but to point out, I was so right, man. I hate to say I told you so, but I was so right. I have said 4 years. I've long predicted, and I've been called crazy and backward and I don't know, desperate, I guess.
All of which are true, by the way.
For saying marriage is not a lost issue for the right. Marriage is not a lost issue. So many people, so many conservative Republicans, so-called, told me, Michael, give up on the marriage thing. Oh, it's just over, man. Maybe it's better that it's over. It's no big, just give up on it. I said, I can't give up on it because it's reality and I can't lie. That's why I can't give up on it, okay?
Again, just repeating over and over again, it's reality, it's reality, it's reality. Okay. I guess that just makes it so, you know?